call it as. Now when the panelists are speaking, I would let them speak. If I see anyone speaking, I will look in literally on their face and will give them the mic. Is that okay?
Yes.
So who are we going to listen? The speakers, right? That's a humble request because all of us are here and then especially spending Saturdays. So we want our speakers to speak and we should listen. If you have anything, we'll take up questions. Now, if you have a question, we will take it up in the end, or we'll see that if somebody is speaking, we'll stop and then take the question up. If that's okay? Now, people at the back, that's specifically for you because in the last session I saw some of you speaking. So can you please make sure when we are on stage, you have that quiet and you have all the time in the world just after this panel to do networking, those flash rings and whatnot. So this is just to respect the speakers we have here. Now about me, I'm going to be your host for this panel for next 40 minutes. We'll try not to bore you. We'll have all the nice questions because I got really good answers from the panelists. So my name is Vandana. I'll just hand it over to the panelists.
Hey, I'm Vishal Carlo. I'm the CISO and BPO at Quantify.
I'll do this.
Hey, I'm Mayan. I take care of engineering at CloudSec. We are in the cybersecurity space.
Hey, good morning everyone. My name is Balagopan from Microsoft. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So when we talk about AI, some people say it's overrated, some people say it's going to be the next thing that we will be handling. We will be actually talking about that itself in today's panel. That when we say security, I've heard my friends saying that security is lagging behind when AI is moving super fast. And it's not just about saying that, oh, people are building using AI, but we are missing a lot of key points when we say AI. Because it's not just simple artificial intelligence, it's LLM, it's MCPs, which is multi-context protocols, RAGs, and whatnot. In today's panel, we try to answer or demystify or talk about some of the myths, some of the discussions that why do we need AI and what are the problems that we need to address from the security perspective. Now, I will start off with Vishal first, where when we say AI is moving faster, are we actually lagging behind or there's some missing parts that we are not addressing?
So, when you say AI is moving faster, and if you try to compare it to what? Say security or your social life or your digital life, AI is coming into all the area that you speak, right? So if I say in context of security, it's a perspective of you guys. The technology definitely comes first when we talk about the security governance measures and all of that. But that doesn't mean that security is lagging behind. It's the way you look at things. Yes, you may have to do things differently with the advent of AI, the way the attacks are going to be different and all. But your foundation remains the same. How you build your security stack, the security structure, it remains the same. So I wouldn't say that AI is heading faster than security, but at the same time, it depends how you prioritize what your company culture looks like and what is the security first mindset that you carry. And if you have that mindset, I think you're on par with it.
Right, what's your perspective on it?
Whatever technology which came out, it was always that the technology comes and then security catches up as when the technology matures. I mean, AI is the new thing, but even if you go like 50 years back, talk about databases. First, the technology of database came into the picture, the usefulness increased, the adoption of databases increased. And then the security professionals came in and said, how do we secure it? But I think the same with AI as well. Like, let the technology mature, let people are already using it, but let it go deeper into our enterprises, and then we'll have to look at how do I make it secure. So I don't think it's lagging behind. I think it's just a level where we are sitting, where as a security professional, it's always that, hey, how do we ensure it's being used in the most secure manner? But I wouldn't call it lagging behind as much as I would say, like, hey, is security lagging behind in database? No, right? The same thing with AI systems and all.
Right. How about you guys?
Right now, as we are speaking, answer is yes. AI is definitely 4-5 steps ahead of security. There is always a fight between this, and people are now understanding the impact of it. Therefore, they are taking a little bit slow and they are trying to make some changes in law. Because unlike any other technology adoption, this is not a technology adoption. It's a shift in the business itself. It has got impact across the business line. And unless they understand the actual power of AI, because they use it within the organization, what data it has got access to, who has got access, how it can be misused, a kind of risk assessment of thing. If it's not done systematically, definitely there are gaps there which security teams struggling to figure it. So therefore, yes, AI is always, currently it's at least 4 steps ahead.
Right. You mentioned about 4 steps ahead. Now I'll start the question there. In the past few years, or I would say 10 to 15 years, we've seen the waves happening. Started with cloud, and even before cloud, we had DevOps, this and that. There are so many containers. So now all these things are there. Do you believe or do you feel that AI is just another wave, or are we going to have it for a very, very long time?
AI is definitely going to stay. It's a very good friend, and it depends on which side of the table you're sitting in. You have a knife as an example. It can be held by a doctor or by a chef, and the knife can be used for both the different purposes. And the context is determined by the doctor and the other person, but not by the knife. So AI is a tool which can be used both ways, by the blue team as well as the red team. Now, how are we going to use and how it's going to benefit, the context depends, and the guardrails depend, the kind of risk exposure depends. Today, in the absence of a regulatory body having certain well-defined standards at different levels, vector database level, RAG levels, and MCP levels, and everything, slowly they're coming up, and certain things are being established. Some people don't even know that the standard exists.
Yeah.
So awareness is important, adoption is important, principles are important, discipline is very important. So definitely AI is there to stay, and there is no two doubt about it. And obviously it can be used both by the red teamers as well as the blue teamers.
Yeah. Now, when you say AI is here to stay, the question comes to Vishal. Now, with AI, there are so many risks that are associated with it. And I'm not talking from the company perspective, but from a CISO perspective, how are we planning to handle those risks? I have seen companies jumping in and started saying that, oh, everyone is using AI, you should use it too. So as a CISO, what are the risks that you see that could be a big problem? Because that's actually, there are catering to multiple domains. So how are you addressing those risks? Because people are using, people like me, I start using ChatGPT, Copilot, and this and that, so many things. And I might be sharing the data which is not supposed to be shared. So how do you handle that?
So thanks for that question, Madana. So first of all, when you look at AI as a technology, we have to look at 2 types of risk here. One is the pure play security risk, like skill injection, cross-site scripting and all. And then the inherent risk that technology brings in, prompt injection, jailbreaking, hallucination, bias, responsible AI related risk and all. So that's very technology focused, right? And then to your point as to all the companies, as Bala mentioned, it depends how you use AI, how you leverage AI, and we have to make it our friend, and we are adopting AI. Everyone is adopting AI for productivity, for transformation, and that is going to continue. So let's accept that fact that it's going to continue. It's just the start of the journey, and there's going to be more on it. Today we talk about RAG, MCP, and all. There is something more coming up very soon. AI, content computing, I don't know. Many things might be coming up. So with that, as a CISO, the way I would approach, or the way I approach it is, I step back. In all scenarios, I've seen a transformation from desktop companies becoming a cloud-first company, cloud-native organizations, selling products from CD to subscription model. I've seen those technology transformations. What I've noticed is first, you need to step back and take a stock of what that technology is all about. What does the technology do? When you talk about MCP server, or when you talk about RAG, how are they doing things different? What is generative AI? How does that lead to a data exposure, or what is really the business use case? So as a CISO, I should not be only looking at security, I should understand the business context. It's super critical. It's super critical that I understand the business context as to why someone is using Copilot. what is the benefit that person is getting from Claude versus OpenAI versus ChatGPT? Is just the model betterment, or is it some other use case that's something better? What is my finance team going to do with this particular decision? Once I have a business context and I am in their shoes, I can understand better that what risk it will be. And one aspect that many of us have a blind spot because I'm a BPO as well is the privacy, the data privacy. Very often we talk about AI security and all. Think about your PII or as part of the GDPR, PPDPA, you have to take consent, you have to delete the data if your end customer says that you have delete all my data and all. Till 2 years back, 3 years back, it was okay because you knew where your data was stored. Still there was a problem, but at least you knew that Workday has my employee data, blah 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 has my customer data and all that. With agentic AI and all of that, with people building agents, extracting data from Workday, putting it on a SharePoint or some workspace, how would you know where your data is going? So that is where you need to understand the business context first, tackle it with that or data privacy angle as well. That's what it happens.
Oh, I love your point, especially that you have to understand from a privacy angle, data privacy angle, all of that is, I think, the key. And now, on the same lines, I have a question for Maya. Because now, as much as CISO loves to use these tools and they are trying to protect everything, and not many are talking about privacy angle. I think that's the key. Now, Maya, when we talk about product, everybody is saying that we are AI first. We have embedded AI into our product, and it seems very fascinating. And I'll tell you where I'm coming from. So, just a few weeks back, I went to buy a small gift for my kid, like which he was supposed to give it to a friend for a birthday. Now, when we went to the kids zone, the person said, now we do have AI-powered toys as well. How many of you heard about AI-powered toys? Some of us, right? Now they are fascinated. They're fascinating. How many of you heard about Talking Tom? A lot of us, right? We have white ears, so we know about that. Some of us, yeah. So now this was nothing but Talking Tom. It was repeating, but then it said that it remembers. Now, same goes with products as well. When we say AI powered, what is the strategy that goes behind from the product angle? That is it AI really happening? Because every company, at every conference, every company says that we are AI powered. And you work for a product-based company as well, even though it has services. But what's your angle into the product which you are handling?
I'm not sure how many have this bias, but when I read a blog and I see the blog is written by AI, I kind of lose interest in the blog. That why should I spend my time reading this blog which AI wrote, where a human did not put the effort? So I think today a company saying that it's AI powered something, and I understand as a company it's all capitalism and we need to make money and we put that marketing angle of AI. But it's like me telling you 20 years ago that I am powered by databases. Now you don't buy a product just because it's powered by a MongoDB database or a MySQL database. So I think yes, AI is being used in products and it varies to the extent of how they're using it. Even a company who is providing a DNS resolving as a service, I don't see why they need to use AI into their DNS services. Probably be more hesitant in purchasing that DNS resolver, which claims they use AI in their resolving process. And I want to maintain a static map and just map whatever queries I need. So I think ultimately the value which you are getting, whether you are using AI, whether it's a human sitting in your office doing it, ultimately the value of providing your technology is what will matter. And I think maybe past couple of years people were in that thing that AI and whoever mentioned AI first in their industry used to take some market share, but I think now people are matured. I mean any smart buyer today is matured saying that I see AI everywhere. So it's not like a very big deal breaker saying one company saying I'm offering AI and the other company saying I'm not offering AI. It's assumed to be like a standard part of technology now, and ultimately the value which you're providing from the product is what makes the decision into whether you are succeeding in the market or not.
Yeah.
I just want to add, how many of you have actually seen this board, outside banks, fully computerized bank? Right? You have seen that? Most of us have seen our organization. Fully computerized bank, right? So that is exactly what the point is giving, because AI.
Right.
As of now, we are saying it's AI enabled and it's a buzzword. Give it a year or 2 years more, like he mentioned, Mayank mentioned about database now, AI will be a de facto that has to be built in your capabilities so that you can provide additional value. That's how it has to be seen. Most of the AI use cases we are seeing are nothing intelligent use cases. They are more of a boundary driven through ChatGPT, OpenAI, Claude and all of that. They are not really there from a transformative perspective. That will be a de facto very soon.
Right, I agree. Now, before I move on to my next question, any questions from the audience?
I would highly encourage people to ask questions, what's on their mind, so that we can make the topic more relevant.
Any questions?
If you don't ask, we might start asking questions.
Yeah. It's like, is it clear or all clear?
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Mohan here. I just wanted to know, like, keeping security in mind, what type of next gen products, AI products will see.
Sorry, what's the next gen?
Next gen products, keeping security in mind.
The AI specific security
Yes,
products.
yes, yes.
Look, when you say next gen products, as I said, the foundation remains the same. Whether you term it as a web application firewall or a network firewall or an AI powered firewall, firewall remains a firewall and it will do the same purpose, right? It just has to be tuned for the future ready attacks or AI related attacks and AI related patterns. You know, if it's a microspace attack going on onto your domain or website, it should be tuned to detect that kind of, or it should be able to detect that kind of fingerprints. So that is how I'm looking at the next gen. All will be AI capable, self-learning, improving and all of that. But that's all correct. But the foundation should always be the same. Maybe they are different word. For example, I came across a terminology called AMTD. How many of you know this terminology AMTD? It's called Advanced Moving Target Detection. So basically, what it does is nothing but a deception technique. How do you deceive attacker when it comes to your network? How do you distract him, divert him to a honeypot other than your key domain? This deception was there from physical security days as well. It still remains. Now this AMPD is just a buzzword. Everyone is going after. I have to present to my board saying that, okay, I have implemented these techniques.
No, you missed a word, it's called advanced.
Advanced. So that's my perspective.
But I would love to answer this question a little bit different. Just because you have a pen, you cannot become a Shakespeare. Remember that very important. Because what happens is, please don't go by the jargons of next gen, latest, advanced. If you are not strong in your basics, you don't know what the business context, you don't know the protocols, you don't know the architecture, you don't have visibility. Whatever, if tools were the answer to security, this community will not even exist. Tools will take care of everything. Huh? Why should the community is needed? Why do we need a security person? Put one back, it will take care of everything, right? It doesn't happen that way.
Right, I agree. Now, this question is for all three of you. We'll go one by one. Now, shadow is something which is a big problem. Traditionally, shadow ecosystem has always been a big problem. Some of the things you've already answered around it, that we need to address multiple things here. We are using multiple tools in our own company also. Like I use ChatGPT, I use Claude, I use different things. And especially I use Claude for presentations. It's lovely. I just need to give it an idea and it builds it up. But again, I might be giving my company data as well. And we work as CISOs, security heads, business enablers, business engineering heads, founders, and there are multiple roles we play. So how do we handle especially the shadow AI part? Are there things that we are doing to address it? I know and here I'm not talking about just the education part, but beyond that, how are we tackling it? That's a big problem for me. Because people use left, right and center and there is a big problem around hugging face which just recently happened. So it became a big nightmare for all of us. So I'll start with you, Bharat, and then over here.
I take up this question because it is the question's got two sides of the same coin. One is, what is that AI doesn't have but we have? There are two things. One is emotional intelligence and integrity. Thank you so much. Go ahead. So, emotional intelligence and integrity. AI does not have it. AI is like a commando. It focuses only on the objective. Commando operations are focused on the objective. Come what may. Achieve their mission target. That's how they all work. Now, shadow AI, I would go back to 2 steps back. Why is it even happening? Because it is chicken or egg story. Because people will say, if you ask any of them, I'm sure at least 40% will be using Kimi in their organization without being approved by security, right? But are you authorized? Do you know what Kimi can do? You have no idea. Why? Because you got access. You got access to it. People expose super cool. They want to get into it because it can do everything. Now, you need to have emotional intelligence, one, and you need to have integrity. In the sense, you need to follow company policies. If you don't, you can be thrown out. But today's generation thinking, so what? I have the capability. But if you have capability, you have to demonstrate compliance and discipline. Not by throwing it out. Show your intelligence in demonstrating these things. Now, from the management point of view, what happens is, it's also a fault of the management of the company because they need to provide a governance layer. They need to act as a guiding body to everyone because everybody wants to play. It's a new toy. Suppose you have a, say, talking Tom, only one is here. Everybody will start talking. So each one of us would want to have a talking Tom. Somebody would want to have some talking Jerry also. Right? So there are preferences. If management is not going to set the tone of, yes, we will give you access. Create a network segmentation. Create on the guest access. Ask them to play around whatever you want to do there. But here, not all. So then, you are figuring it out how much they want to pay, who wants to pay, how they want to experiment and everything. The moment we put those kind of initiatives, then the amount of shadow will come down. It will not be eliminated, it will come down drastically. But having said that, we also need the governance layer to 2 parts. One is the management governance, which is looking at business, whatever. There is something called a platform governance, which is very important because AI is shifting every week. Right? So what is good for the company? What could be used by someone for what purpose? You want to create sites? Use this. You want to create more for somebody? Use ChatGPT. You want to use more of both? Use this. So that guideline does not come from the management or the platform governance. Once they come there and they set the standards and they define the standardization part of it, then it's easy to regulate. Otherwise, there will be 150 tools in the entire organization, and everybody says, I want to use AI, but you are not allowing me to use it, then it becomes a confrontation. But rather than flip the story, take a vote, do a survey, which tools you prefer. So it has to be both consultative and conversation. If that element is missing in the organization, it's not a one-time activity. It's a recurring activity where you need to talk to both of them. Management needs to talk to employees needs to talk to management also. When that comes up, shadow AI will be used. I hope that answers.
Completely with Bala said on that. I'll give you an example of what we saw in our organization. Again, all our team members wanted some AI tool for their use case. We have a contract with Google saying that we use their email provider. They plugged in enterprise Gemini Pro unlimited plan with that. We were like, fine, okay, now, and it was coming with all the enterprise contract that data will reside in India, it will not be used for further trading, everything. We were like, okay, now all our team members have one AI tool which they can use for all their tasks. And we are also safe from a compliance point of view, that we are using well-guarded AI tools. What we figured out was our marketing team was using a different AI tool. Why was that? Because that particular AI tool, it was a very small company, not even like a Cloud or a OpenAI sort of thing. It was an AI for marketing geniuses. That was their marketing line. And our marketing team fell for that. And at the end, probably they were also using a Gemini or OpenAI. But they had just built a theme around it. And that became our shadow AI. So I is more about a little bit of education or giving them the right tools. Now, Gemini today, maybe it does not have maybe an image generation or a video generation, but our team member needs to do that, and it's not because he wants to do it, because his manager wants or gives him a target to do it. If he wants to do that, he will have to use a tool, whether it's a shadow AI or a not shadow AI. So I think for us, as you mentioned, it becomes very important to give the access to the right tools or give them an alternative saying that, hey, you are using this, maybe use this, which will better protect us from a compliance and from a security point of view as well. And I think maybe we need to explore some solution on the AI reality side of things as well. Like people uploading files to Drive, that has been a known problem. We could have those solutions around it. A very corresponding thing for the AI space is required, where what people doing on any AI powered platform needs to be monitored, needs to be flagged if there's some AI going in. From a development point of view, right, even me or my team as a developer, we copy paste code left, right, and center into these AI tools. And it also includes often API keys access. And things have even gone crazier with cloud code. Like people are literally giving server access to cloud code. And you can SSH into the server, just get the tool up and running. Very useful for me as an engineering manager, not so useful for me as a security manager. So that's trade-off which we need to maintain. So to your point, do I have an answer to how to tackle shadow AI? No. That's a problem I'm also trying to understand today. There are some ways how we do it. One is giving them the right tools and be putting some DLP layer on top of these tools as well.
Right. Now, I'll flip the question to you.
Yes, please.
Now, when we talk about AI, I think we've talked enough about AI. How it has helped in cybersecurity, per se, or as a CISO, how it helped you make sure that the security is simpler for everyone in the organization? Because it's scary, but how did it make your life a little better?
Again, I go back to the mindset. Okay. So as a CISO, I was into risk management. I've done consulting work, and as a CISO, I took up this role a year and a half back. And when I've been in this management, I've seen the trend lines of vulnerabilities, all of that. They either remain constant or they go up, get a bit, again, aging vulnerability, aging thing. And whenever you talk to a CISO says, what can I do? Ye mera problem nahi hai. These assets I don't own, these devices I don't know, if I apply patches and everything, something goes wrong, I can't take responsibility. So CISOs used to shy away from taking the responsibility for fixing the problems. That is where I had a different thinking. I'm thinking like if I have responsibility for securing the company, if I don't take responsibility or at least part responsibility to fixing the problems, how will I secure the company? If I keep passing the buck to engineering teams, delivery teams and all of that, how will it happen? With that mindset when I started my journey a year and a half back, that has evolved in that AI space where, coming to your question is, teams are in a mad race to use AI from a functionality standpoint. They want to build capabilities, they want to build new functions and everything so that they can deliver faster. Security, they are aware of the security, they are aware that security is important, security is critical. But in that era of their scale, when they are learning more is asked out of them in the less time because they are AI enabled. If I go to them with my traditional security reports and tell them, hey guys, this is a big list of vulnerabilities or 10,000 line of code that you have distinct, fix it. You say, you know what, forget it. I'll just continue as is, aging continues. So that's the mindset when I changed my mindset to something called auto-remediation, self-healing. So AI has helped us build those capabilities. For example, it has gone to a state where you do the scans using AI, the source code scans. It provides you the vulnerabilities. You again use AI to fix those vulnerabilities in that set of code. Give a merge request to a developer. Ask the developer to check the merge request, do the integration, UAT testing and all of that, and he's good or she's good to go. Imagine the intense adoption that they have, appreciation they have. You are helping them, AI is helping them do their work better, and AI is helping me drive the fixes better. Then AI-powered defenses, AI-powered detections, lots to talk about. But AI has definitely changed the way we think. And obviously, I am also encouraging my team to look at an AI from an AI mindset with the auto-remediation, how we can be a problem solver and solve the problem, rather than just, letting out that it's the problem.
Right. Sir, Mayank, do you want to add something to it?
I have just one line from it. AI has made bullshitting by so-called experts very difficult. One very big benefit we see is people who use a very strong technical term. They might be correct, might be incorrect, but people who use very complex technical term, with AI it's very easy to put it into a LLM and just ask explain to me simple English. And for me as a company, it helps me understand explain a security issue to someone, to say a customer who is not that technical, or to an analyst who does not understand it properly. And even to my customer success team, saying that this is the issue. As a technical developer or as a technical security engineer, it's easy for me to understand. For a customer success handler, it becomes sort of difficult, but there's a learning curve to it. So I think that bullshitting layer is kind of removed with AI, where it's very easy to understand in a very simple English what is the impact, what is the actual root cause, and where to go and fix it. Obviously, the auto remediation stuff comes into the picture later, by the security teams, by the development teams. But for a non-technical person, I think that's a big boon. Like, you can understand, or you don't need to be like, he's a subject matter expert, whatever you say might be correct. You have someone to go consult, ask stupid question without being stupid, and get that second check as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I wanted to actually ask Bala sir to explain this in the biryani terms.
I have to come to that, but I want to add something more. It is, I had 3 points to say. One, my interest taken. The 2 points are just imagine. One is vulnerability, which is short covered, vulnerability management. Other one is your threat, traffic part of it. How many of you are experts in identifying anomalous traffic?
How many of you are from stock here?
How many of you are experts in identifying anomalous traffic? I'm glad. No. Even
Very
if you raise
shy.
your hand, please put your hands down. Okay, there's nothing called, I mean, it's humanly impossible to identify anomalous traffic. Please understand that. What is anomalous traffic? Can you predict what time there will be traffic on the main road? It takes a lot of computational models to derive that. And we are raising hands for identifying anomalous traffic. No human can identify anomalous traffic because anomalous traffic is not carry a red flag and say, I am anomalous traffic. Right? Has anybody found out some anomalous traffic with a red flag? You can't. Right? That is where AI comes in. Because you can process so much of data within a small period of time, identify a pattern. Today, we say identify anomalous traffic. But you don't even create a pattern. Only if you deviate from the pattern, it's anomalous. Start creating a pattern, figure out a pattern, baseline, benchmark, then identify anomalous traffic. One. Same thing goes for what we have covered, which is the vulnerability management space also. How fast you can identify, remediate, using the impact to the business, not the asset. So convert into business language. Third, what Nayan was covering is again, how can you simplify certain things for me? Right? Today, human beings still remains the weakest link in security. Okay? Everybody thinks the attackers are stupid. Okay? Everybody thinks the easiest way to identify phishing email is because phishing email will have spelling mistakes. Right? You know why there are spelling mistakes? And you know one very important fact, they were being done intentionally. You know why? Yeah, there is.
If you use a logo or anything, they have a particular they scan the entire email. I'd say more of like if they don't do any mistakes, it will appear that there is.
The problem was if they sent 1,000 mails and 1,000 people click on it, and 1,000 people they don't have backend support to handle the 1,000 load. So intentionally they want to target stupid people with spelling mistakes. In spite of that, people click on it. That is a target they would love to interact with again and again and again.
No, but some people just use it to bypass the filters also. Like every email client try to identify phishing email and
That is your security control. But the end user who is sitting in, I don't want to name any of the departments, but we know which departments.
Yeah.
They click. They click. I mean, we can't expect everybody to be at every place. And that is when, my dear, what mindset is very important because assume that if I have SLM, everybody knows doesn't take so much of power. You have a small SLM which is going to be on a laptop. It doesn't consume power. Whenever I'm going to copy something, paste something, password or something, it prompts up saying that, are you sure you want to paste it? We know that it can't do anything beyond that. But the end user thinks, acha, monitor that. They will start doing it. Okay, so coming to the beginning part of it is very simple. Is that, you can have all the ingredients. Okay, I will take a little different example. Sorry, I will take another 2 more minutes, please. So, how many of you know how to make chai? Right? At least on an average, 5 to 10 years you've got experience, right? If I come to your house and ask, can you make 2 cups of chai for you and me? How much time will it take to make it? 10 minutes. Correct? You got 10 years of making chai. Correct? Agreed. Now I am bringing you to my house, in my kitchen. All the ingredients are on the table. Right? I am asking you to make chai. How much time will it take you? Why? You have got 10 years of experience, boss.
Finding out the ingredients.
Sorry?
Finding out the ingredients will be the first thing.
No, ingredients are all on the table.
Familiarity environment.
No.
Another pressure?
We don't know the variables that can affect our outcomes. In your house, you may have shakar as a powder. In my house, I may have a sugar cube. You may use Group 1 chai. I may use Lipton. You may use cow milk. I may use skimmed milk. Okay, the chammach size in your house is different from the chammach in my house. Now, chai making you have 10 years of experience. Why are you not able to make 2 cups of tea? Are you incompetent? Yes. That's a fact. Because in spite of 10 years of making chai, this is a brutal truth. Huh? The brutal truth. In spite of 10 years of making chai, we are not able to make chai in somebody's kitchen. Somebody's kitchen is some other company. Sir, I know everything, sir. No, आके चाय बना तो मेरे किचन पे नहीं आता. क्यों? I know how to make chai only in my kitchen, sir. That is not why we recruited you, right? That is the problem. Learn to know the variables. Understand the basics. If you don't understand that, you cannot make good chai. No more.
Thank you. I think somebody has a question.
Myself, Pankaj Sharma, engineering manager, almost 14 years of experience there. But I have one question, because most of the engineering teams now are very reliant to get all the AI-generated code using Copilot, Claude and all. So what do you think as an expert, that what are the practices that are available that you find are best effective, so handle there are no more compliance and security risks that are out there?
I mean, we all at Balasar talked about governance, the management mindset, top-down approach, everything, right? And I can talk about all of those other things like DLP and other things that can be put in place to protect the shadow AI or put in security for shadow AI. Again, it all boils down to the people aspect, okay? Security is getting better adopted, better understood, and it's much better than what it used to be 10 years back. More security awareness, people awareness and all of that is still required from an AI perspective, contextual perspective, so that we can help you understand what it could do wrong to your work, what could go wrong. And then finally, the way I interpret it is, I need to understand your business, your use case first, for me to put in the right controls and help you, enable you as well. So that is the role that we play. But at the same time, you need to be open-minded to hear that, if you don't have security baked in what you are doing as practice, as engineering managers and all, you will not succeed. Security and data privacy is a differentiator, is going to be a differentiator in everything that you do going forward as well, with all the regulations and everything coming in. So it's a mix of people, process and technology, the government's aspect together.
So just to simplify a question, too. If I ask you to get up and say search, what will you search for? Nothing. Suppose I ask Catapult search for people who are wearing blue color dress. Now you know what to search for. Same things happen when auditing the code. Right? there's a context to it. First thing comes as compliance. Second thing is human safety. In fact, human safety is first. Second is compliance. The third is your business system. Where is the software running? If it's going to run on medical equipment in ICU, that's human safety. Then you need to figure out what all ways it can fail. You have to figure out red shirt, blue shirt, pink shirt, black shirt, everything. What are the things that can affect it? So the context always makes a difference. You want to just make a game, right, using AI, and if it fails, nobody cares. No impact. But if it's going to be used by a doctor to deduce the summary of a patient health, basis which another medicine has to be introduced, I cannot even take, will you use that software? You will not. Right? Today you go to a hospital, just imagine you put an injection. If the nurse starts taking SOP and start injecting, will you go to a, you will not. You want a skilled person who will not, they will be just talking, they will inject and they will walk out. You will not even know what. That is skill. You need to build that skill into the platform. And for which you need to understand the contextual risk. Understand that. For which you need to go to the ground and ask what can go wrong. Past incidents and everything. That tells up the story. Code review, everybody thinks, read the code, no dollar sign, no this sign, okay, everything is okay. That is not code review. What is the context? Where is it being used? I can't use that in bomb disposal squad. Very crazy. So the context always matters. Human safety, compliance, business context.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I have one question.
Can we take it up? Can we take it up after the networking break? We're almost done and we are looking at the people. This is going to be like 20 minutes of break.
I want to have before this panel.
Then,
Okay,
please.
Yeah, sorry to bother you. This is related to spatial data. So we are not talking about much of spatial data. Spatial data is available almost everywhere, like GPS system or telecom industry or aviation industry, even space industry also. The spatial industry also is going to become one of the transportation tomorrow by the presence of Mr. Elon Musk. Is going to operate ground to space to ground work. So we are going to travel on that. So how the spatial data can be protected from the crashes, terror attacks, or any other unexpected accidents, those kind of things. Is there any plan for it from the cybersecurity aspect?
Patient data, right? Data.
Yeah, spatial data. Spatial data.
I mean, it.
Yeah. So there is, the data what you have is always incorrect, which has been given by the government. It doesn't have the actual facts, number one. Reality differs. What you have, little bit of open source, whatever it is, yes, it will be flawed, number one. Number two, when you compare the good and the bad, right, we have to look at the good part of it and therefore they made it open source and therefore it is outside. Okay? Like for example, there is not enough, there is a lot of traffic and a lot of actions happening and we shut down the road. Not possible. So as a result of that, yes, I've got traffic signals. One of my friends used to say that, he's from Germany. He said, only in India you will have a signal as well as a traffic function. That's how we work. So, unfortunately, while there's a lot of good, right, when we expose certain things, the intent is to create something good and create a way. While that exists, negative things also happens for which, that is why we professionals are here to take care of that. So, one way or other, yes, it has been tracked and whatever it is. Unfortunately, some instances go out of hand, but because of that, do we need to stop the larger good? Not really. I hope I answered.
Okay, thank you.
We can actually have extended discussion after this as well.
Okay.